I find myself like kind of worrying about like, oh, let's try this again. I find myself kind of trying to worry about a lot of what I want to do as an artist. Now that I know like who I am and what I want to be, and I have a lot of structure for what I want to go for, I feel myself pulling away because it's kind of a lot. It's a big responsibility. Like in middle school, I noticed that there was a lot more happening. You know, I wasn't a kid anymore. I wasn't like, how do I put this? Like, I didn't have someone to hold my hand, right? Like, your parents start to let go of your hand more as a kid. You start to kind of have your own sense of agency, and you're moving towards your teenhood, where you gain even more agency, and then your adulthood, and you gain even more. And you start to lose that infancy part of yourself. And for me, I think it's important that I find a way to lose this part of myself, because I've been depressed for the past 2 years, and I just woke up, right? Like, as much as I want to say this was an overnight experience, it wasn't. Like, I worked really hard to think about what I would be like if I got out of this depressed state. And I found that I feel free. I found that I feel really good, and I feel very called to start experiencing my world, because I'm not afraid of this cult that I have been afraid of since like I was a girl, you know? I feel like enlightened, I feel invigorated, I feel rejuvenated, I feel blessed. And it took a lot of understanding that like I'm safe, but like if you have dreams that you want to achieve, you can't sit in your trauma, no matter what you went through. Like, you can't sit in your trauma and be like, oh, I'm afraid that if I go to this town and I go to this place, I'll be found out by the cult or by my trauma or whatever. And your trauma doesn't follow you. And I have to prove that, you know? I have to prove that every day. And I prove it to myself every day because I don't see the people of my past often. It's so hard to run into people like that too. I especially like fear like running into people from my past, like into this hometown that I'm from, or like re-encountering them, but they're like a few hundred people, right? Out of 8 billion. And I have plans to eventually move out of the country one day. So that's like even less of an opportunity to meet them, you know what I mean? And people aren't as evil as I think they are. Especially that people aren't trying to come after me. And if you want to prove it to yourself, just go and watch someone. Go watch the way people act, because 9 times out of 10, they're not going to be harming each other. Even if you're in like a city or an urban place, like watch the people. Because I also used to grow up fearing that like the people in the urban cities are all trash and they're all, you know, but like actually observe them. They just look worried and they look stressed from their day, and like it's kind of overwhelming like there, but they're safe too. This one lady on the bus, okay, tried to steal from me because she needed it for drugs, alcohol, whatever, right? It was very obvious she didn't like have very good intentions. But I felt so safe because I knew this woman was crying out to me, right? And she was trying to like beg for money while also trying to steal anything from, she tried to steal my phone because she was like eyeing it, but that was like a test of her faith, honestly. And I'm just rambling about how safe I feel, but I just like, oh my god, you know, like that was okay. My ramble session's over. I'm just saying, like, find safety even in the unsafe, because really you're just getting out of your like comfort zone. And yeah.